Hello and welcome to another That Random Model. My writer and my producer thought that the quality of my shows have been slacking a little bit. So they decided as it'd be fun to put me up in a Holiday Inn Express so that I'd have a smarter show. And that's where I stayed last night. So last night I stayed at a Holiday Inn Express and I feel smarter, right? Well, I'm still there. As you can see, I'm in a hotel room. I'm taking the show on the road. Anyway, thank you for joining That Random Model. And today, as you tell from the thumbnail, we are talking about a two-post hydraulic lift from AMT. This is it's a new kit from what I can figure out. I don't remember AMT having a kit like this in the past. I know that there are some garage kits out there, and this is a series, number 3 in a series. So this is a kit in a series. The first two have other mechanics. I think one of them has at least 2 people in the mechanic series, and then they have like like an engine. I think there's an engine hoist on one or an engine stand. I think there might be some jack stands and toolbox, like little snap-on tool cases. So, and that's like what's in a couple. Oh, I remember in one of them there was some sawhorses, because that's what we see in garages all the time, are sawhorses. So, not a woodshed or a wood shop or anything like that. A mechanic's bay is going to have sawhorses. So we'll get to the instructions in a second. Let's open up the plastic and see what we got. Of course, this is sealed in its factory seal plastic and shrink wrap, which look nice. This is the floor that the hoist goes into. Looks like a little bit of imperfection. Of course, a little drain that you can see through for spills and stuff. Every good shop should have one of these. Every good garage, like a personal garage. If you have a personal garage and you don't have something for spills to go through, water, oils and stuff, that could be helpful if you're doing a new construction or something. It's always good to have that, especially if you plan on putting like a hoist or something in there, a lift, which you're finding more and more people doing nowadays. I don't have a lot of research that I was going to quote for this one, because for the most part, if you type in two-post hydraulic lift, you're basically going to see this format. You're going to see this blue and white and maybe a little thing and stuff, and that's going to be basically your generic lift. Here is some black plastic tubing for your power drill, your pneumatic tools. So there's black tubing that you can cut to length, or you can leave it all kind of wrapped around itself like a big snake across the floor. For part of the diorama feature, what you could do is you could have it coming from one end, maybe even have a little air compressor. Oh yeah, I think there's a air compressor in this kit, or maybe one of the other ones. And then you can have a guy working on the lift with it up here and all, and kind of snaked around and everything, give it a little bit of a authentic feel to it. And then these are the pieces of the hoist. Here's the arms. I like the sprue. You can snap off all the kits for the sprue and have this as something for a scratch build or some kind of kit bash. Here are your posts for the lift. Of course, so here's your lift itself. You can position it right here. Squeeze it back a little bit or whatever before you push it into the floor. You can position it so that it has it'll hold the car in place or whatever you're lifting up. Here's another, just to comment on the sprue. Here is another good joint on that sprue for a nice asymmetric build of some kind. But anyway, getting back to the pieces, here's your lift arms. There's two on each side. They have a pivot joint, and they'll go out like this to pick up the car, and that's how you pick up the car. You've all seen these at tire shops and maybe your local friendly mechanic. Here's this outside piece for some kind of reservoir, maybe the pneumatic fluids itself. I don't know. I'm sure you can tell me in the comments what they're for. But it's on here, and I've seen them on lifts before, so I'm assuming it has something to do with the lift's function. And there's your guy with little seams and sprues on him, and his focused hard on working on a car face, as well as his mechanics fatigues, which I love to call them. So there's that. Very, very basic, straightforward kit. Here you have your instructions. Very straightforward. Very simple. And of course, you got the decal placement all over the lift and on your garage. This is looking really nice. I'm really impressed with the quality of this. This looks like a newer kit. I don't see any flash or any imperfections in the molding at all. Of course, AMT kits are now owned by Round 2. And Round 2 is a manufacturer. I should have done some research on them. Round 2 is a manufacturer of not only some old, they repop or reproduce some old AMT kits, but they will also, they have some of their own original designs too. And they are known for pretty good quality for those new designs. Getting back to the decal sheet, which is upside down. Stop. Okay, you can enter. But just keep clear. So you've got some safety things for, in fact, you can feel the raisedness on it. I don't know if you can see the glare off of that. Anyway, I saw this on the box, and I thought this was going to be fun to look at. But yeah, it's one of those inspirational things that you might see in an office setting, and this is perspiration. It comes from youth head and pits. Your head and pits, perspiration. This is something, my buddy was a mechanic, and he had a sign like this in his shop. Shop rates $60 per hour, $70 if you look at it, $80 if you touched it, $90 if you watch, and $150 per hour if you offer advice on how to fix it. So very funny sign. Very some good signs to put up around the shop. Now this doesn't have walls. I noticed yesterday when I was looking on the box, it said something about garage. Car and garage not included. Now, this is the floor of the garage. And when I looked at the other two kits, I didn't see any other garage that was included in this. So I don't know if they're coming out with a 4 or 5. I don't know if there's going to be a garage that this sits in. But you could also very easily take plastic styrene, let's call this plastic styrene, and glue it in place and put supports on it and everything and all, and make a wall that you could put these signs on. Is what I was getting at. And this, so you've got some of the safety stickers for the tanks and everything for other parts of the lift and all. But I'm going to tell you this, and keep it a secret between me and you. Okay. Come in. This is a great kit to practice weathering on. That's our secret. That's just between you and me. So this is a great kit to practice weathering on. And what do I mean by that? Okay, so go ahead and start. And you've seen concrete. What does concrete look like? It's got a very, very light gray to it. You can take a rattle can of light gray paint from one of the big manufacturers, Tamiya or Testers might still do some spray cans. I know they don't make Model Master anymore. That's been confirmed. That's no longer a rumor. Something most of you probably already know by now, so that's just a bad joke. Anyway, you can take this and spray it with some light gray. Now, what you're going to do is when you see this surface is rough to the touch, it's not smooth like the back is smooth, except for the mold marks and stuff. It's smooth. This has a concrete like kind of a rough, very, very mild sandpapery like finish. So you spray this down with light gray. You go over this with metal. And then what you do is you take your paintbrush and you've got your car that's going to park right here. Now, the car could be parked either way. And the same garage is going to have cars parked either way. So it doesn't matter. But you can have stains just dropped in the center. You take a little black wash, or you could do like if you go and look for Tamiya has a black wash. It has a brown wash, and I think it might have like another like a gray or a red wash to it, like a rust. And you could take those different kinds and you could drop them, and you could do it with the brush that comes in the applicator, and you could either drop them onto this and let it splash on its own, or you could put it on there yourself and all. And I would keep it to parts where the engine would be, and maybe a couple parts in between. And then you can take the brush applicator and you can spray it out a little bit. You can take another wash and you could do stains and discolorization in the concrete and all throughout there. And you could practice on something like this and make it look like a really nice diorama piece. So that is my master tip for today. And then of course you can also weather this with greases and washes and everything. A lift like this in a shop is not going to look brand new and beautiful out of the way. If you do this sprayed over with gloss, do the decals and everything, and then do another spray of flat, you're going to make this look a little bit more authentic just doing that alone. But then if you come back and you just put wash in certain parts, especially anywhere where the car is going to sit over, the car is going to brush up against, or someone's going to touch. So maybe even handprints or something like that. And all. And I wouldn't worry about doing a handprint, but just a smudge, here and here, like Bob Ross used to say, a happy accident, happy little smudge right there in the corner. Just sit right there. You'll know what it looks like. It's right there. Looks great. Let's move on to another side. A little smudge right about there. Really nice. So not a very detailed or complicated kit on this one. Just very, very simple. Probably about 50 pieces or so in here, plus decals. In fact, you're going to have a lot more fun with this decal sheet than you will probably most putting this together and painting it, and probably in reference to a lot of kits. So this looks like a lot of fun. You've got very whimsical, very, very fun signs. This one's got a little bit of its own patina or weathering to it. You can also do that with these. Again, you can put a decal on a surface. You could even take a styrene and make this look like a frame. You could spray clear over this so that it looks like it's behind a piece of glass, and then you could weather. After you do whatever you're going to do, if you're going to have signs like this over there, you could spray a clear over it, and then just drip some stains here and there, make it look like a little bit of weathering. Of course, the stop and the enter on the floor, that's going to be heavily weathered. And another thing you can do with this would be really good is go with the color you're going to do the floor, like a concrete, maybe even like a polyurethane finish with has that speckle pattern, or maybe a color blue or something like that. And whatever you spray this in, if you look at my very first video, the Millennium Falcon that was done as the Stellar Envoy, I took the bottom of a Coke can and decanted I sprayed the rattle can into the bottom of a Coke can and decanted whatever color you're going to use for this. And then when you get the decal on it, you take a little sponge and you just go over this. And what this will look like it does is it looks like it has peeled off or somehow or washed off, and you're seeing parts of the floor underneath it, whereas it'll actually be over it. So it'll look like it's worn through, if that's the look you're going for. If you want it to look like a brand new shop, just go ahead and put this together, spray it, make it look nice, put all the decals on, and you're done. Park a brand new Cadillac on it, whatever you want to do. But if you want to have fun with weathering and you've never weathered before, this is probably the best thing you could start with. This kit right here, and that's my tip for you. Anyway, that's the 2-post hydraulic lift in the series, third in the series of garage kits from AMT. That is my review. I think it looks really good. I think you're going to have a lot of fun with it. And thank you all for watching, as always. Both of you that watched, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate both of you for turning in for us. But no, I actually have at this point a little over 100 subscribers, and I really want to thank every single one of you for tuning in. I want to thank every single one of you for watching. I really love the interactions in the comments below. If you want to, please let me know how you'd like to build this kit. If you've seen it before, let me know where you've seen it before. If you have seen it released as another manufacturer, something similar, obviously, leave that in. I know that Fujimi does a lot of garage kit diorama pieces. They have a 2-post kit in there, but it is different from this, as well as their toolboxes and stuff are different. But if you've seen something like this before, I know that there's a whole service station, like looks like a Texaco station. I know because I have it. Well, I should say my producer has it. My writers have it too. So thank you so much for watching. You guys be good out there and enjoy the hobby.